I opened my car. I was going to go get him some food. And literally, the second I opened my door to step out, he just like starts stabbing me.
Fort Worth Police Department says Quindarius Cartwright is the man who cut Oltmanns in the face and chest. Photos of the bloody gash are too graphic to broadcast.
Genuinely thought I was going to die. It was so much blood. Walked in Waffle House. They were freaking out. I mean, I'm sure it's probably a traumatic thing for anyone to watch.
Video of Oltmanns' recovery shows his swollen face and stitches.
Most of the stab wounds, like to the body, weren't really too bad. It was just when he stabbed me in the face that was like, it was really bad.
On top of injuries, Cartwright reportedly stole Oltmanns' car and joyrode it to a strip club in North Fort Worth.
Another self-defense case where this man, white man, some presume a white supremacist, was offering food instead of money. This guy was asking for money, the person that approached him, the black person, and instead of giving him the money that he asked for, he offered him food. So the man stabbed him, stole his car, and took it to a strip club. Now there's a GoFundMe for Quindarius. There's a GoFundMe, so I expect you guys to donate. In the early hours of March 29, 2025, Jackson Oltmanns, a 28-year-old DoorDash driver, was attacked outside of a Waffle House in South Fort, Texas, while waiting for it to go order. And a man came over to his window and asked for money and instead offered him food. And upon opening his door to assist the man began stabbing him in the face and the chest. Despite his injuries, Oltmanns managed to fend off the attacker before the assailant stole his 2024 Toyota Camry and took it to the strip club and partied and everything else. So I say the self-defense thing in just kind of like the whole conversation of what's been happening. Though I wouldn't be surprised if this guy Quindarius turns around and says, hey, it was self-defense. I was offended because I asked for money, but instead he offered me food and I felt my life was threatened. Different situation. But just the way things are so twisted, I wouldn't be surprised if a GoFundMe was started because, you know, there was that story with the father that left his kids at McDonald's and went for a job interview, and everybody poured in and donated money, $60,000 or $80,000 GoFundMe. And information that's been coming out is that apparently he lied. Supposedly he was at an interview earlier in the day, but it wasn't the situation with the kids at McDonald's. He left the kids at McDonald's to go do something else. There's video, there's cameras. They pulled up where he went to do supposed interview, all this stuff. And the police are basically saying he's a liar. And I know most people probably donated with good intentions, but there's still people in denial. You can check in the comments and all this stuff. He's a hero. And the guy's daughter allegedly told police that daddy leaves us and abandoned us. I added the abandon all the time. Why is that rewarded in society? But it seems like that's where we're at. Kill somebody, you know, you praise, but you can flip it to the other way and say Daniel Penny. People are bringing up Daniel Penny and Kyle Rittenhouse, and I talked about that on the live stream, the differences and maybe what similarities and differences. I think this is different for a lot of reasons, but we'll leave that for another time. I spoke about it on our live, you know, the event, the school stuff. But when we go back to the Texas situation, forget the Quindarius and forget the homework file, the father that, sorry, not the homework, the interview, the father that abandons his kids and daughter says, daddy leaves us alone all the time. Forget all that. Back to the Metcalf thing. I had gotten a message from a friend yesterday because I don't know about this track stuff and all this meeting. And this person said, my daughter used to do track. One would never sit under the tent of another team without asking. That's unheard of. So when they asked him to leave, it would have been customary. Okay, so that thing with the tent, you know, it's interesting because there's a lot of information and false information coming out about both sides. I don't know what's true and what's not in some cases. And the thing that I did see, though, is as far as with Metcalf and Karmelo had been previously suspended for bringing a knife to school, and it makes you wonder about the parents. Where are the parents when you get told your child's bringing a knife to school? Why is that? What's going on there? And he continues to bring a knife to school and to events. And with this event, the thing that was said from reports is that he skipped school that day and he didn't belong at that event. So why was he there? And then, there is information that Metcalf was telling the guy to leave. He was refusing to leave. And the guy said, see what happens if you touch me. And I guess he touched him, or Metcalf went to go for his backpack. The guy stabs him in the chest and the heart. Why did he raise to that escalation? I don't know. I don't believe it's self-defense, but there's a lot of people saying that it is self-defense. And really quickly, I just also wanted to add here that Karmelo, he has a give, send, go. Okay. The GoFundMe got shut down because I think with GoFundMe, you can't, I think if you're accused of murder, or I don't know if it's just the defense fund or if you're accused of murder, they have some type of stipulation where you cannot raise funds. And so I guess they opened up a new account. I think the GoFundMe got shut down and they're opening give, send, go. And they're almost at $100,000. Okay. So there is a lot of people that support Karmelo and stand behind him. And you can look at this. People are putting their money and their funds behind it. A lot of support. So very dividing. I don't know if it's divided. Well, I guess I don't know how I guess people are divided by this. This is just, I don't know. Some people see it as division, I guess, but it's a story that people disagree on. And the top donations here are $300, $300. See what else? I want to see what the highest donation is so far. Got $1,000. And you got some of these law groups, Drummond Law Group LLC, here to assist in any way. I'm sure any attorney or attorney's office would love to jump on this and get behind this just for the publicity alone. $1,000 is nothing for them. It's a business expense or donation or whatever. But we can have people here at $3,000. You better step it up. LLC, who was this? The law firm Drummond? Y'all got to step it up. If you're about that, you're gonna have to put down $3,000. I have a young black son as well. I live in Collin County. The baby was bullied. So a lot of people are running with this bully thing, and that bully thing, I don't even know where it came from. I think it came from the family. I haven't seen anything, evidence to show that that's true. That's the big crux of it. And I understand people relate to bullying, whether they've been bullied themselves or they have kids in school. I have a child in school. I can't stand people that bully and make it hard for your kids. I can't stand, there's decent kids and there's kids that are causing chaos and mayhem. And it's like, I see why people homeschool their kids, And so this Karmelo situation, I don't think it's bullying, but like I said, I'm keeping them an open mind. They're going to have to prove it, especially in court. They're going to have to prove that in court. It's okay to defend yourself from bullying. So people are using this bullying thing, and that's why a lot of people are behind this. There's also the race element too, and what's that guy's name? I don't remember the guy calling Metcalf white supremacist, which I thought that was pretty messed up because there's nothing to suggest that. They did say there was some words exchanged, which wasn't repeated. I am curious about what those words were. Oh, Tariq Nasheed called this other guy Metcalf a white supremacist. Somebody commented on my tweet, WW Neal, and he said Metcalf has raised over 650, which I believe. He has a lot of support. But the thing is, Metcalf is the person that's deceased. I guess it's who you perceive as the victim here. Metcalf is dead, but people believe Karmelo is the victim, and so it's I don't know. We could go in circles for days. Karmelo gets to tell his story and defend himself. Metcalf doesn't. He's dead, But leave me a comment down below. I love you guys. Take care. Peace.